All right. Hey, what's up, Cannabis Solution? Today I want to try my first live stream. You saw me kind of trying to set it up there as we were going. I think it's working. I'm going to turn off my testing phone and see where it goes. So today there's a few things I want to talk about. First of all, you're going to see I get a lot of my news from the Marijuana Moment. We received these, and today one of the things that I've found as I scroll through here was something I found really interesting was areas with more marijuana dispensaries have fewer opioid deaths. So I think this is great news, right? And then you can see in this article that the more people they have using opioids or choosing cannabis, the death rate for opioid overdose or death by opioid tends to go down really quickly. So in this study that was done by the British Medical Association's Journal, or the BMJ, they found that higher medical and recreational storefront dispensary counts are associated with reduced opioid death rates, particularly in death associated with synthetic opioids such as fentanyl. So this paper, which was published just last week, that's what they concluded. And what they found was, this holds for both medical and recreational dispensaries. So if you have a dispensary in an area where people can choose between using fentanyl or opioids or using cannabis, you're going to see, say, 21% or some percentage of people choosing cannabis over fentanyl. And this could also be applied to some of my other videos where I talked about veterans who can't get free access to cannabis, and if they are found using cannabis, they can lose their access to VA healthcare. So that's a terrible thing to have, and what it comes down here, and it's this is the critical statement: if consumers use cannabis and opioids for pain management, increasing the supply of cannabis might have implications for fentanyl demand and opioid-related mortality rates. So what's that saying? That's saying that if you have access to both, you're going to see a reduction in cannabis use, a reduction in opioid use and opioid death. So if you increase your access to cannabis from one dispensary to two dispensaries, you're going to see a reduction in opioid deaths of 21%. 21%. That's significant. Where is it down here? And then if it goes from 2 to 3, you're going to see, less, a lower amount of opioid death percentage, but still an increase of reduction. Sounds really confusing. So yeah, here we go. Yeah, further, the study found that this trend appeared particularly strong for deaths associated with synthetic opioids other than methadone, which estimated 21% reduction in mortality rates associated with an increase from 1 to 2 dispensaries. 21%. That's a lot. Here's some other interesting news we can find. Counties where the number of legal marijuana shops increased from 1 to 2 experienced a 17% reduction in opioid-related deaths. Okay, increasing the dispensary count from 2 to 3 was estimated in an 8.5 decrease in opioid deaths. So you can see that percentage going down, and I think that's pretty cool. All right. Well, this has really been a great experience. I'm going to try and do more of this as time goes on. I'm really learning how to get this all going. I appreciate everybody who is following me. And again, what I'd like to do is, if you can, click the like, click the share, click the follow, get the notifications. And I'm going to be trying to follow stories like this on a regular basis, sharing my screens. Here's another one actually I can scan over really quick, because feds are going to be sending marijuana and hemp samples to labs as part of a large-scale testing accuracy study. Some of you might remember one of my previous videos where we talked about how the MED has been strategically stalling all the testing facilities for research on the effects of cannabis and the benefits that it can have for people who are suffering from PTSD, anxiety, depression, pain, etc. And they're really just only allowing this one facility in Mississippi to grow hemp for testing, which is BS, honestly, because first of all, the cannabis they're growing at that testing facility is closer to that of hemp as opposed to real THC cannabis, especially with how good the cannabis is that people are producing now. That place is moot. What they need to do is open up 10, maybe 15 more facilities that can produce cannabis for testing, put that cannabis into, I hate to say an FDA regulated, but into some real studies to see what type of results we can get and really get the word out to people on how cannabis is such a benefit for so many people in so many different ways. And that's not just THC cannabis, but that's also hemp cannabis. The studies are out there. I go over this a lot when I talk about how cannabis is, THC, CBD, CBN. We can get into some other details on that first of all, but CBD and THC are found in almost all cannabis. And the reason there's so little CBD in so many plants is because it's been bred out over years. And the reason that there's so little THC in hemp is because it's been bred out for multiple years, and what happens to THC when it degrades and becomes CBN? Well, that's what happens to it. It degrades and becomes CBN. That's how they know that, 10,000-year-old or however old, but 10,000-year-old, I'll just say, pipes and such that they found where ancient civilizations, they were smoking cannabis. The reason they know that is because those pipes have residue of CBN, and that's what THC turns into over time. So to get a large-scale testing accuracy study is great. Is it hemp or is it marijuana? Here we go. Legally, there's a big difference. That's right. And so now they're trying to increase the accuracy of the measurements. And personally, with my manufacturing facility, we send our cannabis, THC cannabis, to be tested every batch. So we process 5 pounds of cannabis. We come out with 400 grams of oil. We reduce that oil down to as pure potency as we can get, usually somewhere to 70 to 80% THC. The rest of it is going to be terpenes, which we reintroduce so that we can really hold the flavor. We send it off for testing. They test it for pesticides, particulates of mold. They test it for heavy metals. They test it for potency, terpene profile. And all those tests really ensure that we have a very safe and really usable product. So if you're interested in more of that, let me know in the comments. I can maybe do another show on that, because I think that the testing is something that's going to be really awesome. So let's see, determining the THC content is a critical concern. The research will also look at CBD and other cannabinoids so that the cannabis companies are able to ensure that the products meet legal standards and are properly labeled for consumers. And again, we have huge labeling restrictions and requirements for all of our products here in Colorado before they reach the shelf. And we have a QR code on all of our products that people can test it by. So hey, listen, Cannabis Solution members, I really appreciate you tuning in. If you did, I'm going to try and do more of these. Please like and subscribe. I'm going to try and do cannabis news every day live, because I finally have a little bit of a setup, and I think made my first 13-minute live video. I'll try and have it more organized next time. But hey, first try. I know it's not perfect, and I know I stutter a lot, but I'm going to try and bring you all the relevant news that I can find for Colorado nationally and worldwide, so that we can really follow the legalization of cannabis and bring it back to being a solution to so many problems, from everything from clothing and ropes and sails that we can use the fibers out of hemp, to medicines and solutions to anxiety, depression, pain relief, and also just, people like to get high and enjoy doing outdoor sports. So if that's something you like doing, if you like getting high and cleaning the house, you like getting high and going for a run on a 5K, if you like to use salves and balms to reduce the swelling on your joints, let me know in the comments. I'm going to try and read every single one and respond. I know I've been slow to getting back to some folks, and if you want me to mention your stuff on the show, let me know. All right, I'm going to sign off. Again, I'm Forrest Jones with the Cannabis Solution, and I love you all. Thank you for coming. Peace. I think I'm ending it now. All right. When I push stop, there we go. Okay, see ya. Peace.